This Sons Africa podcast. This is African Nat.
This is your black son, your neighborhood douchebag.
We're gonna start talking about. We're gonna just take our black son and neighborhood and just call you a douchebag.
Your mama, bro.
Oh yeah, I left it in this time too. I know she's seen it. I told you I'm gonna leave it in. If you keep it, I'm gonna leave it every show to let her know how you really feel about her.
That's fine. Leave it in, bro.
So we just here. We giving y'all an update. We just pretty much give y'all an update on jelani day. Gabby Gabby Petito and Lil Nas X. We're gonna talk about that on the next show because I got a clip about what he tweeted about. So we're gonna talk about that on the next show. But just to give y'all an update on Jelani Day and we're gonna give y'all some back end on that. So with what I found out is Jelani Day. Let's put this picture up. Jelani Day, when they found him, his organs was missing. But then just the other day, his mother said that his organs was missing, his teeth, his eyes, but his body was decomposed because he had been in the water before the police found him for like a week. What was it, 11 days, 5 days?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the amount of days, but he had been in the water, and the police had him at the. We talked about this on a previous show. The police had him had him in the coroner's office while he had been reported missing for like 2 weeks? Was it 2 weeks?
Yeah.
He got reported. They had him for like a week.
Yeah, his mom reported him missing for a while. They had him for about 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, they had him for like 2 weeks, and
they had him for about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, and they was looking for him, but I guess they didn't do the.
Well, because he went missing around August 24th, I think. I think his mom went on TV on the 4th, and like a week later or so, they reported that they had him.
Yeah, so when they reported they had him, and then when they did an autopsy, they found out that some of his organs was missing, but they said his body was decomposed. That's why they didn't know it was him. And I guess his teeth and eyes, but they said they think the fish was eating at it.
My question is, how did they find out it was him then? If all this stuff, his body decomposed, his lower jaw, because it was his lower jaw they said was missing. Like they took off his lower jaw, his eyes was missing. I think he was missing some internal organs and stuff were missing. His brain was gone. I mean, the whole thing sounds horrific, bro. It sounds like the movie Wrong Turn. You know what I'm saying? Like you out somewhere, because I think they found his car like deep in the woods.
Out.
Yeah, they found his car deep, and Get Out, he would have still been alive. He just would have been taken over by somebody white.
You're right.
But in this one, they found his car deep in the woods, they said, and it was in the clothes that he had on that he went into the store with, because I think the last thing they got him was on camera going into a gas station. They say the clothes he had on when he went into that store were in the back seat of the car. So whoever did it, they were being real meticulous and planned this whole thing out. I'm guessing they took him, stripped him, took him wherever they took him. And like I said, man, the way that they found his body, I can't imagine as far as what they actually did to him before they actually killed him, because I believe they probably tortured him and did a whole bunch of stuff to him, because the way his body is like I said, this is some stuff you see on them scary movies like Hostel or something like that, where you just get caught up by the wrong people, like what is it? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know what I'm saying? You walking out in the woods, you go to the wrong house, the whole family don't capture you. Now they about to torture you, kill you, cut you apart, and all that stuff, bro. And I just hearing about it just made me feel kind of sick to my stomach, because it was just like that was just crazy, bro. Just how all that came about was beyond my imagination.
His mother said she wasn't so much worried about the organs because they think the organs was gone because his body was decomposed. That's what I read. She said she was wondering wanted to know how he was murdered, because she know he was murdered. But his body was so decomposed. This is what makes it interesting. They said his body was so decomposed that they really can't tell how he was murdered. But you can get DNA. I guess you could get DNA, but they said they couldn't tell how he was murdered. That's what his mother was more concerned about. How was he murdered, or how did he die? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She wasn't so much worried about the organs, because they was telling her that the fish, whatever in the sea, it was eating the organ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then with Gabby, that's with Jelani Day. I want to say condolences to his family and prayers for his family.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to him, because hopefully they get the answers that they want. You know what I mean? And this is Gabby here that I got on the screen.
Yeah.
So we talked about her. She had got into an altercation with her husband or her boyfriend, and the police made them go to separate hotels. And she was reported missing. And when they just recently found her, and she had died of strangulation. From the autopsy said she died of strangulation. And they still can't find the boyfriend.
Have you seen the video? They were definitely fighting in the car. She was apparently hitting him in the car, something like that, and they got pulled over. She was still crying. The cops, like I said, they sat her down away from him to ask her what was really going on. She was saying like it was her fault, and she was really, really crying, and the dude was just kind of being mellow about it. They told them to go to separate hotels, and not to talk to each other until the next day. I'm guessing they met back up again, and whatever he did, he did something to her. Because he still went back to Florida and told everybody, he strangled her. And he went back to Florida and told everybody he didn't know where she was. And then dipped off, I guess, when everybody started looking for her and stuff like that. I just find it crazy. I honestly think, me and my wife was talking about it, that he might have killed himself. He might have went off somewhere to one of those spots they be always traveling to in the woods or on the mountaintops or somewhere like that. Probably killed himself and nobody can find him, or he could have escaped somewhere. But that's crazy within itself, because you seen her and it's like you know how she was beforehand, but it's like she wasn't willing to either tell what was going on or just leave him alone at that point in time. So she ended up being murdered by him, and it's a sad story for her too, man.
Yeah, it is. It's sad. It's sad that the police. It's safe to say they failed both of Jelani Day and Gabby.
Yeah, they did.
They failed her because they saw that there was a domestic dispute. They seen her crying, and they just told them to go to separate hotels.
I take that back. I can't say that they failed them both, because there was nothing they could really do to save Jelani Day, because nobody know exactly what happened to him. He went missing. You know what I'm saying? So they would have to really investigate to find out how did he go missing, or who took him and who did all the stuff, because somebody definitely took him and murdered him, because they took his clothes off and put him in the back seat of the car. With Gabby Petito, they tried to do everything they could to get her to leave him alone and not deal with him. They even went as far as to have them be separate, sleep in separate hotels, and go in separate ways. And they did not. They said they were not going to tell them where each one of them were, because they didn't want them to know. And they told them not to contact each other. Mm-hmm. Now, far from that, the only thing they could have did to prevent that from happening is take their phone, then not have them, so they won't be able to contact each other. But them being adults and stuff like that, and they thinking that they did the best that they could do in the situation, because once again, she wasn't willing to say anything about him or say he was abusing or anything like that. She made it seem like she was the problem, and she she over exaggerated, got upset, and was attacking him. And so even in that whole situation, the cops tried to separate them because they knew there were some problems going on, and that maybe they probably didn't need to be, because the cops said that he was talking about him and his ex-wife, and how they realized that they weren't good for each other because all they did was abuse each other. So they had to separate and just kind of break it off. He was trying to tell her that maybe that's what they need to do. So you can't really say the cops failed her. They did everything that they could have done in that situation to separate them. Now, what they did after that was completely on them.
So let me ask you this: did they take her to a separate hotel and make sure she was in a separate hotel?
They took him in a car. They gave her the keys, and they took him, the dude, in their car to a whole different hotel from her. So they drove him to the hotel himself.
So and they really thought that he wasn't gonna get back to that hotel where she at, or they weren't gonna get back together, and there was a.
She was the one that had the car, so she had to go and get him and all of that stuff and go to where he was at. So what would you have wanted them to do? To arrest her and keep her in jail?
No, one of them over at least for a day or so, just to make sure they were separated.
Yeah, but then once they got out of jail that day, they would have got back together.
But if they took that person to jail, and kept her for a few days, and the other one went to wherever they was going. They could have kept
I
her.
mean, they couldn't keep her for a few days unless unless it was like the weekend or something. But then he still would have just waited in the hotel, and then when she got out, picked her up, and they'd be still in the same boat.
Because you know,
I mean, there was nothing they can literally do.
Because you know, when people in domestic disputes, and I used to say that, how could you be in a domestic dispute and you just stay in this relationship or whatever you want to call it? But people be so scared to leave the relationship, they be intimidated by that person that's beating on them that they end up going back to them, like, and try to.
Yeah, that's my wife. We talk about this a lot. She says that she thinks that some people really they love the person more than they love themselves.
That's a fact.
And that they are willing to endure that. I find that absolutely strange because I think the number one thing that human beings are worried about is their own life, for one. I just want to thank those who have subscribed because I see that it keeps going out, and those that comment. If we don't get to your comments at a decent time, it's only because most of the time I don't get any alerts to the email on my phone, and I periodically go back and check just to see if anybody got some comments and all that stuff.
Just to let y'all know, I ain't the one that's commenting back.
Yeah, it's not it. It's me. It's
so
me.
If y'all got any issues with that douchebag, y'all let me know, and I'll be sure to be the mediator. I'm just joking.
It's me. Yeah, I'm the one that's making the comments back. So the person that said that was talking about us having sex with transgenders and stuff, you're crazy. Pretty deep conversation.
Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. We like the comments. We ain't gonna respond, whether you like our response or not. But we do respect all comments. We do respect all comments and y'all opinions.
Yeah, please engage because we do talk. We will comment and talk back to you.
And subscribe and hit the bell icon so when we drop some more content, y'all can be the first to get it. And we're gonna be planning to go live in the future. So while we're going live, y'all can give y'all comments and stuff like that and interact with it. So be on the lookout for that. This your guy African Nat.
This is Black Son.
We are the Son of Africa Podcast. Peace out.
Peace out.